Do you remember that online playtest program thing that Nintendo did a while back? You'd be forgiven for not really remembering it too much. I have a hard time remembering it. I think I've probably gone on this whole spiel before, but I really do think it's funny how successfully Nintendo buried it. They really did a great job. I thought it was silly that they were telling everybody not to talk about it and not share anything about it. I thought that was impossible, but no, they did it. You cannot find, at least I can't find footage anywhere. They took it all down. They somehow were able to actually police this, whether it was social media or YouTube. There's a real game, a Nintendo game that people played on their Switches. Some sort of really wacky experimental game, the likes of which Nintendo has never done before. And a bunch of people, like tens of thousands of people played it. And yet, like, I've never seen footage. I could probably find it if I searched hard enough, but like, I don't even know if I've seen an actual screenshot. I saw that like document. I went over this, like, I think I did that in a video. I read it. I didn't show it, but I read it. I read like the document kind of showing some screenshots. But no, I've never seen footage. They did a really good job. And you know what? It's coming back. They're doing it again. They opened up registration again for people. And once again, I did not even try to get in. I think by the time I heard about it, it was probably far too late because it seems they were opening it up to like maybe up to 40,000 people again. Expected to accept as many as 40,000 participants worldwide. I guess I don't exactly remember how much that was last time. I want to say that was the most, but or as many, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, whatever. 40,000 people. First come, first serve. So yeah, no, of course I'm not going to get in. So I didn't even try as much as I would like to do it. So yeah, I'm sure that's filled already. But you know, another interesting thing about it this time, it's not just Switch 1. It is also going to be on Switch 2, whichever one suits your fancy. Now, this whole situation is very, very interesting. If you haven't like really heard a lot of details about the game, or if you didn't see the other stuff from that leaked document or whatever, I mean, I still don't 100% know, but for the most part, it sounds like it's something where people are kind of working together to kind of like explore this like shared game world, and you're just, I think you're just like building towers or something. You like build towers and it just kind of like fills out the space. It's something along those lines. And I mean, like, obviously we can't like judge this thing as though it's a full release. But most of the stuff I've heard about it has been kind of you know, like, I mean, literally just the other day I was talking to a friend and he said he got into the first one and it just didn't really have much of a point. You know, you kind of build your towers and then you're just kind of done. And I've heard other people say similar things online. So as it is, there's not a bunch of a point. At the same time, we don't know if this version is just going to be the same thing again, or if it's going to be different. It's going to be advanced in some way, if they're going to be testing some other element of this thing. And technically, we don't know if this is some sort of like prototype for a real game, or if this is really just kind of like just some kind of test, some kind of stress test. Nintendo may want to make a game similar to this, and they're just trying to like figure out how the technology works. You know, they haven't made like massively multiplayer online games before. This is kind of like them sort of toeing in and figuring it out. I would say that if they are doing this again, and it is more or less going to be the same game, I would say that this is definitely them prototyping for a real actual game. And it is possible that the game will end up looking more or less like it does here. You know, this thing, at least based on the screenshots I've seen, it has its own kind of style. I'm sure if they released a full game, it would look more than this. This is very stripped down, but it could still have like similar, just a similar vibe about it. I don't know. Or this could be it could look completely different. There could be a real version right now. Like they could be working on the game, and for this playtest, they just replace all the assets. They just strip it all down, take most of it out, replace the characters with these little simplified characters. For all we know, it's a pre-existing IP. I kind of have my doubts there, but like, I don't know, Maybe it's Mario characters running around in the real version. Yeah, I really don't know what the final product would look like. But if I had to guess, if I were forced to guess, I am forced to guess now, because if I'm making a video about it, I have to guess. Yeah, I would say this is definitely a real game. This can't just be a little technology test. They're testing it a second time, and they've got it running on Switch 1 and Switch 2. It seems like it is a real thing. And, you know, I certainly don't want to get my hopes up, but it feels like it's got to be something pretty big. I don't know. It could just be that it's not like a huge project. It's just very new. It's using online tech that they just kind of haven't before. And so they like literally just need to test it to even like figure out how to do it. But it's hard for me to look at this and not see some very big, I mean, a Nintendo MMO, you know, like that is essentially what this kind of is in a sense. I suppose if it does end up just being like placing towers and exploring or whatever, then it's not exactly an MMO. Generally, when you hear MMO, it's going to be like an RPG. It's going to be, you know, like fighting and gaining levels and stuff like that, like a full game experience. Maybe this will be more about just cooperation and exploration and stuff. I really don't know, but it does seem like something very big and very new. Just the fact that they would have to test it out like this, have to test it out multiple times, and they're being so hush-hush about it. So, like, aggressively hush-hush. They don't want anyone to know anything about this. It's, I don't know. It does kind of point to something big. I mean, I was half expecting them to reveal the full version of this idea at, like, the April Nintendo Direct, you know, like I don't know, like we could technically see this anytime. And that's such the interesting part about this is like, yeah, this could be just a very, very early prototype. This could be just the beginnings, just the bones of this idea so they can kind of figure it out. Or this is them stress testing a much, much bigger idea that is in active development, maybe even will be revealed soon. Maybe even could be revealed at any given Nintendo Direct. Maybe even the next one. Maybe we'll learn about it in September. I really, really don't know. I'm very curious, and I suppose at this point, it makes sense to just kind of wait until the playtest happens, and we see if there's anything new about it. See if this is just kind of the same thing again. Is this like a Splatoon test fire kind of situation, or is it different? Is there more different goals? I don't know. But the test itself is going to happen between July 28th and August 10th. So a good 2 weeks, just about 2 weeks. It's going to be going on. People are going to be playing this weird experimental thing, not allowed to talk about it or share anything about it anywhere. Obviously, people will be at least talking about it, even if they're not sharing footage. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty darn curious. If any of y'all happen to have gotten in, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to know how many of you were accepted, or if you happen to play the previous one. I don't know. Give us anything you got. I don't know. Is there anything about it that I'm like kind of missing here? Again, like I haven't really like done a lot of deep digging about like what it was. I'm kind of just waiting to see how it all pans out. But like, I don't know. Share the deets. Give us the juicy details. Forget Nintendo. Spill the beans. Live a little. Don't be such a goody two-shoes. Come on. Come on. You know you want it. Oh, but if Nintendo is listening to this, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not. I would never ever encourage anyone to break an NDA. It's not actually an NDA. It's just kind of legally, it's more of just a request. It's not legally binding. But that's not to say that it should not be respected. It should definitely be respected. Don't break the rules. Anybody, never break the rules. But if you do, I can't stop you.